Hello and welcome to my channel again. Today we're gonna talk about a humiliation ritual because, Hollywood culture. The thing is that we are part of self-development. Has humiliation rituals, and it's not so woo as it sounds. And part of my spiritual work is to combine these esoteric, crazy concepts in the day-to-day life and show that we as humans are practicing spirituality, and it doesn't have to be talking directly to angels, you don't have to have a life resembling an psychic asylum, or how is it called? But you can practice spirituality in the same way as day-to-day life, and we just have all different realms, and it's just a choice. So I asked on my Instagram, you can go and follow me, Free Spirits Healing. What do you want me to talk about? And you guys chose to talk about humiliation, how to do an aware humiliation ritual. Yes, so we're going, because it's related to chakras and stuff, my work is related to chakras and stuff, because as an energy healer, the chakra system just helps me put some more logic into it. And I'm gonna start for those who are not familiar with the chakras, because it involves feelings it's just self-development, We are starting with 7 chakras, main chakras. I hope the phone doesn't reverse it, because I'm filming on my phone, but if it does, just listen. First chakra is here. This is the root. Second is the sacral, root, sacral. It's a bit hard to write this way. Root. Okay. The third chakra is our identity, then the heart chakra, and then the throat chakra, and then third eye, and then the crown. Okay, the crown chakra, whatever. So first, root chakra, we don't know the names, we don't need the names for this, but they are coming like this in our bodies. So I'll do like this, because despite I'm a lefty, I do write with my right hand, like all normal people are supposed to do in Moldova. So the first chakra is about fears. The second chakra, and it's about stability and related to fears, to our fears. The second chakra is related in the shadow part, okay? Is related to creativity, to passion, and to guilt. A lot of sexual guilt in the world, especially around the moms, because of religions. The third chakra is our identity, is here in our stomach, and is related to shame, when you are ashamed of what you do, of what you want, what you desire, you know, who you are as a person. Then the heart chakra is related to heartbreaks, disappointments. Disappointments. And the throat chakra is related to speaking up, to the fear of speaking up. Speak up. The eye chakra. Wait. The eye chakra is related to seeing things, to our connection. It's like, I'll just make the eye, you know, this eye that we see. And the crown chakra, which connects us to our higher self. So this is the crown chakra. Okay. And now, humiliation ritual is when you let yourself be humiliated in a way. The humiliation it's everything is neutral, right? But because we belong in systems and we get born in systems, dual systems, and any system has a right or wrong. This is just the nature of our world. We do get the shadow aspect because of restriction. I have my notes here because I was meditating, and at some point I just started writing it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so simple. How didn't I think about this before? But let's say we want to do something. This is the chakra system. Let me see. Okay, but I'm gonna delete this. These are the 7 chakras. Actually, I think I can do it right here also. I'll just take a different color. Where do we start? We start here. Divided lower chakras and upper chakras, but like, please don't discriminate the chakras. Okay, so we start. How do we initiate this humiliation ritual? And I'm sure you did this many times, especially if you're a person who works on themselves or has like different behaviors and like the normal social behavior, what is seen normal and good and right. You've done this. This is just, you know, just a practical point of view. Let's say we start with we have a desire to do something. Let's say you want to start your business. Okay, start business. This has multiple humiliation rituals inside, depending on what exactly do you want to do, but I'm gonna do a generalistic point of view. If you have questions, comments, write them below in the comment section, and we can take a look at them. Okay, so I want to start a business. We are starting with the lower chakras, because the lower chakras are connected more to the 3D world and are connected more to the shadows. And if they are not right, we become a bit shadowy. This tea is so good. So we start with the third chakra. And we start with actually the lower chakras. And no, we don't start with the third chakra. We start with the first chakra, with the fears. Because why do we start with the fears? Because it's the root chakra which gives us a stable environment, because it's the fears. If you're afraid of something, everything is gonna be shaky. If you don't conquer your fears. So you think, you can journal, you can write an Excel, or if you have like a good mental space, you can just write, you can just keep it in your mind. I like to do different charts for myself. So I want to start a business. What am I afraid of? And I'll tell you one big fear, which also I had to conquer, is money stability. Like, this is the main reason why a lot of people have full-time jobs, because it just gives you money stability. You can just like, you can expect, you can control better your reality, because you have predictability. So let's say you write your fears, and you work with them logically. So for example, you have to find a way to convince yourself that this fear is not available or is dissolved. So what can you do? What can I do to keep myself stable? A lot of people have other jobs on the side, especially when they start businesses by themselves. I'm not talking about people who are having access to grants and all of this. They just take a budget, so they don't really do any of the inner work. That's just business, that's just money. You just go for the money. If they don't get money from the government, they don't do the business, or they're gonna align themselves with the government's agenda. So you work with those fears. What can I do? Give yourself solutions. Like, just to ignore and say, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant, that's fake. So you just write everything and give yourself logical reasons, because subconscious needs that. We are humans and we need to eat, right? And when you're done with the fears, you go up to your guilt. What do you feel guilty for? Maybe you disappoint the parents. Me personally, I did feel guilty because my business is related to spiritual practices and witchcraft and stuff. So I did feel guilty of like disappointing, but you work with that. So write everything you feel guilty for. Maybe some people will be like, they're gonna judge you for, I don't know, if you have a partner who can support you financially, then you don't have this fear, right? You just move right to the guilt. Maybe you feel guilty about not contributing to the bills and stuff like that. You have to give yourself reasons to not feel guilty about. Or to make it up to this guilt. You have to feel good about yourself. And that's called alchemy, as simple as it is. So you work with the guilt, and then you go up, and there is shame. In my on my example, there is a shame around spiritual practices and witchcraft, like, oh my god, from a religious point of view. So you just have to alchemize your own shame, and this is good to go in meditations, because a lot of things we just feel subconsciously, and sometimes we are not ready to feel them consciously. And you just write all this shame that you have, give yourself reasons why it is not shameful. If you don't believe those reasons, that's not alchemy. You have to truly believe it. You have to really be having like no anxiety, no doubt about what you're saying. So just keep working on yourself. Here about shame, these are two parts, because first you have to alchemize your own shame, right? When you alchemize your own shame, then you have to alchemize others' shame projected on you. So this one has two sides. The identity chakra is, I wouldn't say is the most important, but even though you start with the root chakra, but the identity, you have to put a lot of work in your identity. And a lot of times we don't discover our identity, like our true authenticity, for years, doing one thing or another. So first you think about your own shame and what stops you, and then you think about what others think of you, to be really strong. So then when you do this kind of stuff, you don't need protection and all this, like, oh, yeah, you do protect yourself. I consciously protect myself, but like not talking about some stuff with some people, about avoiding some situations, but like constantly doing and live a little bit. So you alchemize this shame. You go back and you start doing this thing. You start the business, right? You start it. Or you do that thing that you just worked about. And then when you start, when you start doing that thing, you are going now to work with the upper chakras. You move to your heart chakra. You'll find a lot of disappointments. These disappointments are gonna push you back. Sometimes you'll have to go a few times to make a few rounds here. And not sometimes, but most of the times, and which is normal, and you have to expect suffering. You don't have to push yourself to suffer, because you're not here, but you're gonna expand yourself, and you're gonna and you're just gonna be hurt but not suffer, if you alchemize it properly and if you do like proper inner work. So you start and you just write all the heartbreaks and disappointments. This is your fourth step. You just work with all the disappointments. I don't know, people start not supporting you, people start envying you, or they just are gonna start to believe stuff that is not right. So you just have to integrate all of this to accept and move forward. And I would say that you will, with each chakra you go up, you will have to do another journey downstairs here, with fears, guilt, and shame. For example, if people don't support you around, right? The closest people, it's always like, I didn't believe that, but it did happen. The closest people disappoint you the most. So when people don't disappoint you, your fears start thinking like, oh my god, if the closest people who know me don't support me, like, will I truly find like people who believe me? That's the fear that destabilizes your ground. So you'll have to make for each chakra or each thing here, just prepare yourself for a ride in hell. Then you work with your disappointments, with your heartbreaks. You're like, okay, whatever, let's do it. You go to the throat chakra. You have to speak your truth. So that's the fifth step. You speak up. You set up new boundaries. You speak up about your identity, about whatever you want, but this is mostly about setting up new boundaries, talking with people, confronting all these things, all this stuff. So here is like setting up boundaries. Where do I write? I'm gonna write here boundaries. Boundaries. Then when you speak up these boundaries, you leave these boundaries every day or as much as possible, or when you encounter those things, you speak up these boundaries, you leave them, and then you're gonna move to your sixth chakra, to the eye. And for example, you set a new boundary like, do not react to this kind of comment, right? You leave that, and then when it comes to the third eye chakra, when you go up, you're asking yourself, did or does this take me closer to my desire, to my goal? So because you are seeing things differently now, you are more connected. So does this, I'll just write, does this help? Help. If yes, convince yourself. If no, go down and change something. Maybe the boundary, maybe a practice in your business, maybe, and then if it does, you connect, you go up to your seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra. You connect to your higher self. You thank for things that you received, for the courage, for alchemization, and you think, you ask. You ask for maybe other things or different things or additional things, and you also ask for guidance for the next step. This is very simplistic, whatever. This is a simple way to see this, a very like mechanical way, but don't forget, we as humans are messy, and I'm not gonna say, wow, this is beautiful. It's hard, but this is our experience, and you just accept that this is it. You're gonna go through a lot of bad feelings. yeah, and this is the thing. This is basically the mathematics. You will a lot of times will have to work on multiple things at the same time, but each feeling has this trajectory. Now, how it works and why they say that, you know, Hollywood is whatever, how it is, because they fake this humiliation ritual. So also, if you know marketing, because I have background in marketing, and there is a reason why I didn't want to have any more a full-time job in marketing, because I'm not a liar and I see things clear and how they actually are, and I don't like to lie and I don't like to pretend. But they start lying. Like, for example, they go into fake relationships. They are thinking, okay, I want to sell a new album. Okay, they start here. I want to sell a new album. What do I have to do? And then they just fake I don't know, a relationship that is related to that album. They fake an event that is related to that, and they don't go through all of this. That's why it's fake. And also that's why a lot of them, celebrities, get autoimmune diseases, and it is your choice to have empathy or not, but that's how it works. For me, it makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't make sense for you, something, and let me know if you have any comments. And if you are thinking of doing more deeper work, I invite you to shadow works. I do them online and in person. You can read more on my website, but I do work one-on-one with people. And we go into deep meditations, and it is tailored specifically to you. I do not have a recipe. I believe people who tell you there is one recipe is wrong. They just wanna sell you a booklet or something. But every journey is different. We do have same like guilt, but they could be based on our background. It can come from different unexpected roots, this guilt and fears. So it is important that your inner work is tailored to you specifically. And I invite you also to my Patreon and scroll through my meditations, and thank you for listening to me.